Hey all, how are y'all? It's me, Aloha. Hey guys, and welcome to my first video of 2021. But before I get started on this video, I want to say that I have finally collabed with my friends, the T and K twins. The video came out on Saturday and it's doing well on YouTube, so I'll put the link to our video in the description and go and give that video a like and subscribe to their channel. So, without further ado, let's get into this review. So, as you read by the title, I am gonna be talking about the new Nickelodeon show Side Hustle, and Nickelodeon, you have disappointed me again. I should have known, because now it just feels like Nickelodeon is just using popular faces for ratings. They don't really care much about their acting ability. They're like, oh, this YouTuber is famous, so that will get kids to watch our stuff. Or this TikToker is famous, so that will get kids to watch our stuff. And yes, that's true. That's good for ratings. But the show overall, in general, it's not good. So this video is basically gonna be like between a review, character breakdown, and my issues with the show. So this was the second show that Jules LeBlanc and Jaden Bartels have together. They had a group chat that came back in the spring, and they both have had previous acting ability. Jules acted in the Brat web television TV show called Chicken Girls, and she did a voiceover in the series Sunny Side Up, while Jaden played a recurring role as Peyton on the Disney Channel show Coop and Cammy Ask the World. So obviously they have acting experience, but in this show, you don't really see it. No, you really don't. And to be honest, it did take me a while to watch the show because I didn't have any high expectation, because whoever Nickelodeon is hiring to write these shows needs to be fired immediately. Because this is not it. This is the third video I've made on the Nickelodeon show. And I feel like making a video on the astronauts, it may be good because, there's not a laugh track in every line. So I'll check that show out, and you'll probably be seeing a video from me sometime next month. I don't know. So yeah, the scripts overall aren't really good. The actors don't have a lot to work with. And if the actors don't have a lot to work with, most of the acting is gonna be dull. So let's start off with episode 1. So the episode starts off with Jules' character Lex and Jaden's character Presley, and they come back from school on Friday, and they're just chilling outside of their backyard. And then their best friend Munchie comes by, and first let me talk about what kind of name is Munchie. They gave a normal name to the two leading white girls, but when it came to the black kid, Munchie. Are you kidding me? So anyways, Munchie comes to their area with fireworks that are pressurized. So they're like, oh, Munchie, what are you doing with fireworks? And he's like, oh, I saw them on my dad's desk. And his dad is the principal of their school. So he was like, okay, I saw them on my dad's desk. And Lex was like, okay, you're not supposed to touch it. You're not supposed to touch it. And so Munchie was like, oh, how do these fireworks work? And Lex was like, oh, you have to apply pressure to them. So Lex ends up squeezing the fireworks and blowing up Munchie's dad / their principal's boat. And yeah, basically that's the premises of the show. Of course, when the principal sees that his boat is blown up, he is pissed. So every week, the girls have to find a job or they'll be scraping toilets at their school. So, let's get into the characters a little bit. They don't give us much to work with because the characters are so bland. But from my assumptions, I'm guessing that Lex is the goody two shoes. Like, her teachers are always talking about her. She's doing good academically. And then Presley's kind of her, I guess, dumb / quirky best friend that is just kind of a disappointment. You know, you always have that one good friend and then you have that friend that's a disappointment. Yeah, I guess it's kind of those two. And then they tried to make Munchie. He is a mix of both quirky and dumb. And the thing is, the kid genuinely seems like he's trying, but when he's trying to seem funny, it does not stick. It really does not stick. And that's what happens a lot of the time in the show. You can tell when they're supposed to be funny, but you just end up staring at the screen like, huh? The first 10 minutes that I started watching the show, my eyes were burning. My eyes were burning, my friend. That's how bad it was, because every single line there was laugh track. And I had captions on and they tried to tell me that's a studio audience. That's no studio audience, my friend. Every single line. If I can insert a clip, I'll try to in the middle or the end so you guys can see what I'm talking about. And like, they're mostly not even funny. So then you have Presley's little brother Fisher, which is basically another one that I talked about in my Young Dylan video. Nickelodeon, I am tired of this stereotype. And if you don't know what it is when one of the characters' little brother or little sibling in general has a crush on their best friend. So yeah, it's basically a mix of any annoying little brother character and the genius, because he's also the little genius of the show, and he will do anything to get Lex's attention, and he would fantasize about Lex and just say, oh my god, that's my wife, I'm gonna marry her, I'm gonna invade her personal space, any strand of DNA, I will take it. Anywhere she walks, I will walk. I'm just tired. I'm tired, bro. And then if I haven't talked about Munchie, he does have an older brother named Jagged that is a crossing guard, and basically their principal put them in charge of making sure that the girls pay back money to get their dad's boat fixed, and basically he is a die-hard daddy's boy. So basically anytime that the girls will come back, the boy will be like, hey, you got my daddy's money? That's my daddy's car you blew up. So you got money for my daddy, right? And it was intended to be funny, but it was just cringe. Any little line, oh, you girls messed this up. You gonna pay my daddy back, right? Cause my daddy needs that money cause you blew up my daddy's boat. And I'm just like, boy, shut up. Shut up. They're trying so hard to make him funny and quirky and it doesn't work. It's the same thing with Munchie. Cause he's the mix of quirky and dumb. And I don't understand why they had to make the black friend the dumb one. And also, one more thing. Let's get on the black best friend thing. Nickelodeon is still bringing this into the 2020s. Why is it whenever the black character is in the show, they're only the best friend? Like what? Are we not interesting enough to be the main characters? Because these characters are so one-dimensional. I have to assume things because there's some things that they want you to know but you just don't get. Just like how I guess Lex is supposed to be the goody two-shoes, but you don't see she's a goody two-shoes. And then when it comes to the acting, you cannot tell that they're sad. You cannot tell that they're angry. You cannot even tell that they're happy because they all have the same face. All these expressions, they all do the same face when it comes to these emotions. And I know that the girls have previous acting experience, but when it comes to the show, you don't see it. So yeah, anyways, to have their first payment back to the principal, they get jobs as human mannequins. And one thing also the show does do is that they make the adults, with the exception of the principal, very stupid. So when they first go into the store, the man is like, oh my god, here's where everything is. And he ends up telling them where the control panel is. And he ends up putting the kids in these itchy suits. So basically they're like, oh my gosh, let's try and use these controls to make the store close faster because they could not take the itchiness of the wool suits they're wearing. And of course they end up failing multiple times. And the man doesn't even see what they're doing until, the girls fail. And yeah, I'm just tired of seeing stupid adults. That's even worse than seeing the black best friend or the little brother that has a crush on the girl's best friend. I'm just tired of the same old stereotypes. So yeah, the girls end up messing up a meeting that the store owner had with a famous client. And so even though they did not do their job that they were supposed to get paid for, they end up blackmailing the owner into giving them money. First job screw up. 2 teens making money while they go to school. I wonder what other shows have done that. But anyways, let's get into episode 2. So episode 2 is basically an episode where the girls take on 2 jobs to get their payment for their principal's vehicle, and they start off this episode by being guinea pigs to this science lab that made a vitamin that is supposed to make kids love to eat vegetables. So they take the vitamin. Of course, they don't feel anything until about the next morning, where they go on a vegetable rampage. And so the girls are addicted to all kinds of vegetables, and whatever they do, they cannot stop eating vegetables. So the girls end up having to do another gig as princesses for their old teacher, and this was kind of the episode where that goody two shoes was implied. The girls were supposed to dress up as princesses for their former teacher's daughter's birthday party, and basically out of nowhere, Lex was like, "Oh, I bet Miss Castillo still talks about how good my lines were." And Presley was basically talking about silent letters. "Oh, I know she didn't like me." And I'm just like, Nickelodeon, is this supposed to seem relatable? But since they're still high on eating vegetables, they needed a way to fix this, because the vitamin has also caused them to be very dizzy. So since Presley's little brother Fisher will do anything for Lex, he decides to make a little dose that will take away all the side effects and get them back to normal. And guess who he uses as the guinea pig? Munchie, the black kid, as a test subject. So the first test he did caused Munchie to lose his eyesight, and the second attempt caused him to lose his memory. So while Lex and Presley are going to their teacher's place, they end up being very dizzy and yada yada yada. And then the teacher mentions them having a vegetable garden. Again, with the one-dimensional stuff, and basically didn't expect much substance. She was only there to talk about how straight Lex's lines were and hold a grudge against Presley for whatever reason. So the birthday girl comes out, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, are y'all real princesses?" And of course the girls are like, yes, we're real princesses. And they're like, "Hey, you want to play a game?" And so they make these girls go and dig out their mom's vegetable garden. And while that's happening, for the third time, Fisher tests on Munchie, and he is completely cured, completely back to normal. But the girls are still experiencing very intense vegetable cravings and passing out. So what happens is the girls get their vegetables, and their teacher and her husband are looking for their daughter's birthday cake. And since they already made the girls dig up the teacher's vegetable garden, they tried to stall the parents. So since the girls were still too dizzy and they didn't want to get in trouble, they end up trying to wheel out the birthday girl's cake, but they end up falling on their face and ruining the girl's birthday. So the girls were like to the birthday girl, "Oh, is there any way we can make this up to you?" And she said, "Yeah, give me money. Y'all gonna come back and work for free, and you're gonna make me a new birthday cake." And I said, "As you should, girl." So their teacher ends up saying, "Oh, who dug up my vegetable garden?" And the girls were like, "Okay, yes, Lex and Presley did it." And instead of Lex, just saying, oh, I messed up, when the teacher's like, Lex, I'm so disappointed in you, they end up wiping her and her husband's memory. Really? Why do you care about a straight line so much, Lex? Why do you care what a teacher thinks about you? You don't have her now. What's the big deal? These characters stress me out, I swear. Episode 3 had not much happens in the next episode. Is mostly about them having a yard sale for their next payment, and Presley ends up selling a dog toy that Lex kept their money in, so Munchie and Jagged have to scramble and get their money back. And it's basically bubble wrap, a bunch of bubble wrap. And episode 4 was another tired trope. So Lex's cousin Ruby comes to visit her, and she ends up falling in love with Fisher. And so basically Fisher's like, oh, that's creepy. And Lex was like, oh, so you don't like it being done to you, huh? So Ruby comes up with all these shenanigans to get closer to Fisher while Lex is trying to spend the weekend with her cousin. And it was another one of those things. A family member comes over. The best friend believes that the cousin is evil, but the best friend doesn't listen to them. Or the best friend comes and spends a lot. The best friend's family member comes and they spend a lot of time with the little brother or the other friend. And they're like, oh, I'm jealous. Why aren't you spending so much time with them and not me? Yeah, I'm just tired at this point. And it ends up with, Fisher takes his crush on Lex to the extreme. And yeah, yada, yada, yada. Basically, all the adults except the principal have sense. Like, Presley's dad lets her talk to her dad any kind of way. He's a bozo. He's an idiot. And then the teacher has no substance. And that one guy that they worked for in the first episode, nothing. They try to be so funny, but they're not. And this laugh track was really killing me. Nickelodeon, at this point, if y'all want to save your network, just air reruns of the show. Don't reboot them. Just air reruns, because they know that the shows duo. And stop trying to reuse plots of old shows. If you didn't get the reference to the shows I was talking about, you'll see soon. But yeah, just air reruns of old shows. And then if you're gonna have all these influencers on there, maybe have them host like an award show. That's it. Don't give them a show. Do not give a show. Because it's just laziness. It's laziness at this point. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If I can find the link to a clip of the show, I would, but if not, my last video is in the description, as well as the link to my collab with the T&K twins. And Growing Up African is coming back hopefully by the end of this month. And I have a collab with the T&K twins that's going on my channel hopefully this weekend. So stay tuned for that. Alright, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
He's a fan.
Angry Devil fireworks? Pressure activated, not legal anywhere, including international waters. See, to me, that's a red flag.
What does pressure activated mean?
I think it means you have to pressure them into going off. Let me try. You have to go off right now. 3, 2, 1, go!